So it's going to be very much happening during the day and possibly at weekends. That's really what we have to define, but we will give you enough notice of that. We haven't also defined the cost yet, and the reason for that is that till we actually gone through all the accreditation processes, because it will be an accredited course, it will be an international accredited course. And once we have done that, and then we get the BAC also accreditation, and that is going to take us this year to go through all of that, because we're in the process of running and putting together the syllabus. Now, because we want it to be advanced, because it's going to be advanced, we have to build in a lot of criteria, anything from 120 to 150 hours will be the length of the course. But we have to build in a lot of things that will comply to make it the international standard, especially when it will be equivalent to a diploma level 5. Once you start hitting that level, then there's an awful lot of things then that you have to take on board, okay? From the clinical studies that will need to be done, to the research that needs to be done, to the case studies that need to be done, and then all the different techniques, etc. So it will take some time. So we are in the process of doing that. And all of that has a built-in cost, the cost of developing the syllabus, the cost of getting the accreditation, not via BSc, because BSc will be built into us as a school, so that is minimal cost. But the international cost always runs into hundreds and thousands, so, and we do want it to be international. We want it to be accredited, because as long as we move through the islands, we need to make sure that people are going to come to the course, because they will have something that they can use outside of their particular island, okay? The same thing with our sports therapy massage, that can be used outside of the islands, and that's important. On a general basis, most things can be spread across the island, but we can't think only of the islands. We have to think of the international market. For those of you who are studying and might want to leave a particular island, you need to know that the qualification that you are moving with is going to be acceptable. But I must reiterate that when it comes to North America, and that's Canada and America, that does present us with some difficulties due to the fact that America has states and North America have provinces, and there is variations in the different states and provinces. So, but Robert, because he's part of the, how do you call it, the NCTMB, we're hoping that with that will allow us to move, at least even if it's not fully into the American market, but actually part of the American market system. So that's another area that we have to work in. So everything we do.
What is NCTMB?
National
Certification Board of Therapeutic Massage and Body Work.
Yes.
That was the governing. That used to be the governing board over all massage entry level. But what happened was they gave that up to an organization called MBLEX to match all the other professional blexes, you know, and so they now govern the entry level accreditation. And then NCTMB, what they govern now is the continuing education part.
Yeah, what we call continuous professional development, CPDs. Okay. So that's it. So all of these things is really where we're looking at. But in relation to Barbados, it will we will be able to roll out across the Caribbean, etc., without any problems. We just have to build in the other areas that will matter for those who want to move out to the Caribbean and say go into South America or Europe, etc. Okay. So, but we will have the bones of the syllabus ready soon, and which we will be able to send out so that people can get a feeling of what will actually be involved. Okay. And as I say, for those of you who have gone through the sports therapy massage, the wording, of course, you will recognize, but that will be built on top of that to move you on. The other things that we have to look at in terms of this particular course aside from the length of time, aside from the cost of it, Robert will be down here to deliver the course. And the time frame and the days, etc. And although 120, 150 hours is not a great deal of hours, it is challenging when you're trying to get it into a short period of time. When you're looking at, if you do it 3-4 months and trying to get all of those hours in, it is actually quite a challenge. And you want to allow time for people to be able to do their casework and their research and things like that. And even when you start talking about 2 half days a week, with everyone working, that presents a challenge, even if you are working in the wellness industry, because most employers are not really au fait of giving you the time off. And although people have a set day that are working, then the other day just becomes another challenge. So that is really where we are now, but we need to get this done real soon so that people can really plan ahead. But it will be done. This is August. We're looking at it will be done by September, so people can, end of September, so people can really plan ahead and get their companies to be aware that they want this particular time off. So we're trying to get that together. There's no particular things that people is going to have to buy. Everything else will be here in the school, so there won't be any particular things that people will have to be purchasing. And what was the other thing? What was the other thing that mattered? Hold on. I think on those, yes, till we get to the next stage, then we will discuss the other things. So Robert, okay, right, Robert mentioned about elders, about being overlooked. One of the things, as we all know here in Barbados, and we just want to mention about Barbados rather than worry about what the other islands are doing, but we know that they are very in a similar position to us, because we know there are not many international facilities in the other islands. So they are in the same boat of us. Is that the whole purpose behind a lot of this is really talking about finding niche markets. We're in a very competitive industry and a small, at the same time very, very large, because when you take on board the size of the Caribbean, it is actually quite large. But each island in itself, with the exclusion of Jamaica and Trinidad, are very small in terms of quantity of persons. So in taking on an advance of a picnic course like this, you can say to yourself, well, okay, am I going to have enough business in Barbados? And to me, the answer will be yes. But the important thing for all of you who come on board is to think outside of Barbados. And that's one of the reasons why I mentioned CARICOM. Because once you have your qualification, that gives you total access to CARICOM, which I think is 24 islands. Without your skills certificate, it gives you that. And so therefore, you can actually travel around the islands doing what you are doing. Example, I mean, you have somewhere like one of the small islands, like just say, for instance, Curacao, that has just joined CARICOM. Well, that's Dutch, yeah? So, but what you have there is that Curacao, like a lot of the other islands, are small, yeah? So the islands are not going to build international schools. Because when you've got a population of 50 or 100,000, why are you going to build an international school? You don't have enough people, yeah? So they need to rely on other sources. So when we choose to get into the thing of traveling, that's really where it comes about, that your knowledge then can be sold. Because those people have the same issues as we have here. They are in the same pain, they are the same, physical deformities or neglect or that we have here. So they need us just as much as we need them. So this is really in learning and in promoting these particular courses, and we will do a whole thing because Robert will be dedicated to that. So I don't actually have to do anything with it much, but Robert will be focusing on just doing that, promoting the course across the Caribbean and moving people around with him. And that's really where that is going to come. So any coming into this course and learning, don't think that, okay, I'm going to do an advanced course, where am I going to go with it? Yeah. And this particular course does not guide you into saying, oh, I got to go and be a chiropractor, I got to go and be a osteopath or anything like that. We are not touching those people, they exist. We're looking at the people who are there in front of us on a daily basis. That when they walk into us for anything like a massage, we recognize all the other issues that goes with it. So we are no longer seeing ourselves as massage practitioners. We move ourselves from just being a practitioner into being that professional person, and this is really where these skills come in. Yeah. The person who just want to be a general massage, there's lots of room for them. Just leave them alone. But where the specialization comes in, and this is really where it is, where you now see yourself as a specialist, that's really where your field comes, and that's really where you get your clientele, and that's really where you build your business. Yeah, excluding the other stuff. So the niche markets are there, and there is ample room for niche markets. We have so much stuff happening here on the island and in the other islands. And if you are not aware that a lot of the other islands come into Barbados to have their treatments, because they don't have the facilities in the islands. So, they come into Barbados, whether it's QVH or whether it's other organizations. So there's a lot of movement of people for wellness, and we are going to lash on to all of that movement of people. So whether you go to them or they come to you, there is ample opportunities there to be taken. So I'll stop here from now and then let Robert then look at doing some demonstrations, okay? And our day today is not so much a typical setup in much that you are working on each other. Robert will of course make use of you, but there's no stripping down and things like that. So it's not the standard way. And so he will do various demonstrations. Some of it you will already understand, but he's taking that to another level. And also you are free to ask as many questions as you want to when things are happening. Okay, so this is where you get the opportunity to ask questions, and where I will note down things that we might need to think about when we are building the syllabus and the program. Okay, so your input also will be part of what happens as we go ahead. Okay. So
All right, yeah, that's
want
me.
the setup?
No, I was right here, just gonna do some stuff.
Okay.
And by the way, I'm looking on the phone, I'm looking at the live, YouTube, I got it working here. Body One Wellness, IODY, the number one wellness, that's what you find me. But you get all the books too. So, a lot of time when, we say our necks hurt, we're all practitioners, our necks hurt, right? Our bodies hurt. But how do we stretch our necks? What's the first thing you do? Anybody show me what you do? How you stretch your neck? You just like that, right? You just go like that, right? That's cool. That's what we know. That's what we know as therapists. But here's how you put what we know into action. Now, we know when we do this, everybody's watching me. When we do this, what's the first thing you see what's happening? The shoulder's going up, right? So therefore the shoulder's going up, and that's just getting a crunching at it, right? Crunching thing. But when I learned in school, reading the book. Yeah, I read them books. That there was something that they didn't show me, but I looked at it and said, okay, I think I understand this, but I'm just going to put it in my pocket for later in my practice because I know it's going to come up. So what I did learn was when I was stretching, in fact, I do have a video on my channel on YouTube on Body with Wellness that shows it, and then on my Instagram channel on Body with Wellness. When you do this, that works, but you're still going to get, it's not going to really do anything. So everyone does do this. I want you to take whatever hand it is, put it across, right? Up, right? Across. Now, what you got to do, some people who are down, you got to relax too. Just let it drop. And if you look down, sometimes we can't push it up there, so sometimes we can't just set it up there, so we have to push it up. I want you to get that small of your wrist in the nape of your neck, right? Now, this is called a fulcrum in engineering, right? Fulcrum, something about it. So we do this. Now we take the other hand and put it across my head. Now, here's the key. Sometimes we have to, sometimes we have to look upward because we can't tell our reference of horizon because we're like this. So I just say, just to be sure, we just look up. Now we know our head is perpendicular. Now we take it and we pull it slightly to the side. And drop that elbow, drop that elbow. You feel the difference there? You see how that works? You feel the difference? And when you're doing that, you're preventing your elbow, your shoulder to go up. Right? You see the other side too, right? Same thing, just put that. What you want to do is put it there first and push it up in there if you can't get it in there. I kind of grab my scalp there and just now you're pushing it up and just do that, right? And you may get a couple of pops, which is good. All right. Now, interesting enough, everyone is kind of doing it their way, and you're going to feel it differently when you do it the right way. But you're doing it the good way. Now, here's the, do it again. Let me show you. Do it again. Okay, now, you see what she's doing? You see, this is you, my dear. No, I just want you to do this. Lateral, straight lateral, not oblique, straight lateral. Now, obliques can work. Obliques work. Let me show you. Obliques work like this. You can look down. You can a whole bunch of clapping like that. But you really got to get in there and really get it. So what we're doing, the reason why we have the fulcrum here is what we're doing. You're doing an A joint. Is you need to increase the angle of the joint so you can get a stretch. Right? Now, if you can't,
scapular area too.
right? If
But
you,
when that, you're doing this. When you're doing that, on that limit, you really
Okay,
want
I'm
to get them
about-
up stretch.
I'm about to tell you, you're very small. Longer than that. You're going to need something else, a bigger instrument. So what we use if we get one later on, a towel. A towel. Roll it, a little on my face, I roll it up, put that there, then you do it, now you have a bigger stretch. If you were on the table and I was working with you, it would be perfect for that table and everything. So you would get a more expressive stretch, if you will. So that's some self-care that's part of orthopedics, And orthopedics is just, what I say, orthopedic is just treating chronic pain and pain that can become chronic over time. And that's it, that's all it is. And it's really needed because when I say orthopedic massage, people, what is that? What is that? And therapists can't explain it. So I teach also taglines, how to address it, how to explain what people do in just one sentence. What is orthopedic massage? Orthopedic massage is a massage that addresses chronic pain and pain that can be chronic over time. Simple. Yeah, everybody has that. Well, how does it work? What do you mean how does it work? Well, what do you do? Deep tissue? No, we use a non-impact, low-force, soft tissue work. Simple tagline. You can explain it like that. Now you're in down to listening, right? And the fun part is after they receive it, man, what was that? Eleanor, yeah, like no other. You gotta just have your own language. Tell them. You gotta put it out there and say, well, how often should I get this? And I tell my students, tell them every day. And it's crazy, like every day. I don't know if I can come every day. I don't know if I can afford it. That's a whole nother conversation. But I tell them come every other day. And for 30 minutes, it doesn't have to be an hour. 15 minutes, it doesn't have to be a half hour, depending on what's going on. And they say, well, why have to come every other day? In my mind, not to be disrespectful, I say, we don't ask for physical therapist that you go every other day with no problem. Right? Treat me like that. Just come every other day because we have to reach a certain level of therapeutic value, and then we can move on to maintenance from there. So with this, you learn the language how to express this to the client, because they don't know what to do. You see, we don't know what to do. So that's part of self-care right there. We just do that, and now you can also transfer that on the table, and then of course that's simple because I also transfer what I do on the table to the massage chair as much as I can access it. You can do orthopedic massage in the massage chair because I created that called CMOT. Look it up. It's in our NCTMB continuing education. CMOT, rock that chair. Chair massage with orthopedic techniques. If you see that, I didn't see anywhere else. I even told them that it's dope. So let you know now. That's the way it is. So that's orthopedic massage. It can really, really help. It can really help you with getting your clients to really understand what massage therapy is. understanding what orthopedic is, understanding their own pain. Wow, I never had that before. I never knew people could do that. I never felt that before. So we get that, I get that a lot. I get that a lot. I have a lot of reviews, I have a lot of testimonial, video testimonials. That's one thing too, how to build your legacy and build your credentials and build your credence on the street. Is say, hey, can I get a minute of you saying all of that? Yeah. Because I'm telling you, when they come out, oh my gosh, okay, I'm on the video in the lobby now start talking. Now she's talking live to everyone else that is listening. Like, who's that? You see, so once you get into it, you learn how to market yourself. Well, I don't know to market yourself, right? Especially when you do advanced therapies. But you'll be able to do it because once you do this every day and see the results, it happens. Then people ask me to do stuff, I'm not doing that. It's so that's what orthopedic massage is when that's the first demonstration. And that, just remember, folklore, do that. Use a towel if you don't have one. And
Can you demonstrate that again for benefits of,
hello, what's your name again?
Executive Burden?
Ms. Burton, how are you doing? All right, so we want to do this here. We say we want to stretch our necks, and most people do this, right? And you see what happens when I do this, right? My shoulder goes up, right? So we use a fulcrum, which is a balance part there, and now we do it. Now we gotta look up to the horizon some because some people are like this, we don't have a good perspective, so we look up. And then we just do that, just do that, I'm standing, like this. And what that does, the fulcrum increases the angle of the joint, so you can do that in any joint. People say, well, stretch their knee, they're just doing this. Well, you're not stretching your knee, you're hurting it more, but you gotta put something behind it to stretch it. So anything in the joint you can put to increase the angle of the joint, and what that does, it really stretches that cartilage, stretches that tendon a little more. Put something in there. See, if I put my fist like this, you see this? Rather than going like this. And if I do this, in fact, I even saved my hand one time. There's a dog in the house, and I was doing something. He was biting a towel or something. And I went down to reach the towel, and he grabbed, there's a pit bull. He grabbed my hand. So the first thing I did was I made a fist, and I started shoving it down his throat. Well, he let loose. You see, you gotta learn stuff like stuff. So you save it at the time. So yeah, so when you grab the fist, you see you have more angle on the joints, especially in the metacarpals here. So yeah, so you
You put something in the joint, and you get more angle.
yeah, you extend
Increase
the
the
angle,
angle.
increase the angle of the joint. Yeah, see, that's part of the technical part of the side. That's yeah, you know, we doing one thing too. People, you know, when I saw that, and I was taking my first certification exam, it's a surgery, you know, everybody, doctors, lawyers, everyone's taking this as a place that they can take exams. And I could tell who the massage therapists were in that room. Because we're all sitting there behind desks like this, taking exams, and I thought they were crazy until I started doing it. You would see the therapist sitting there, and all of a sudden they would. Because they're talking science to you, you gotta figure it out. And one of the questions was, what muscles in the leg contract when you're walking upstairs? You see? So everybody is what? You see, so that's how it works. You see, so when we work with people all the time, all of that's gonna come back. It's gonna be valued now. Wow, okay, yeah, that happens this, and when I do that, okay, yeah. And I have to work, and one thing with orthopedic massage, your clients has to be passive. They can't help you at all. You wanna see what I'm doing right now? This right there, she's helping. Right there, she's helping. Just drop. Just let it drop. Just let it drop. See right there? See, they want to help you all the time. That's what they do. See, watch. Just there you go. That's all. Now, and when you're always handling the body like this, right? I don't know if they can see me, but when you're handling the body like this, what you want to do is have your mind not resist, right? So I always, when I'm handling, I always support the distal joint. So whatever I'm doing like this, and when I want the client to relax their shoulder, what do I tell them to do? Yeah, relax your shoulder. Can't relax your shoulder. Relax your shoulder. See, they're gonna move it. No, it's the distal joint, the elbow. Relax the elbow. See, And when you relax the elbow and the shoulder relax. It's just simple. Two things that can move the body in a whole different way. You see, body is one mechanism. You know? When you have somebody on their back, you work with your knee, and you say relax your hip. No, just let your knee fall out. In America, everyone wants to be modest. We know modest in that room, right? It's like, nah, it's just not. And sometimes it's take them and put the shoe tight like a diaper. Like, I don't want to do it tight. Okay, come on, let it loose. Because if they're holding, then the therapist will get. So massage, this orthopedic manual therapy is really something that you really have to understand the body, functional medicine, understand how the body works, the anatomy, the physiology, and the communication. Because if someone's holding, a couple of reasons. It's either pain, shame, or ticklish. They're ticklish. See, pain, shame, or ticklish. I just came up with that. So, but it's common. It's common when it comes out. When you work with this every day, things will just pop up and you put it together. Like the universe just starts dropping it all in and coming together. You know. When your clients ask for deep tissue, I laugh. And they ask me for, well, I like deep tissue. They don't know what I do. Orthopedic surgery is so far out of deep tissue. It's more movement. It's more functional medicine. And that's the part where clients don't get. You know, they want help. They've never released any type of control. They always want to help. Most of my people, they get massaged like this. That's what it feels like when on the table. And it's a tug of war too. It's a tug of war. They're not relaxed because they just had to run on about now. Okay, I feel good. No, you feel good. You haven't felt great yet. So this is something that you guys can really maximize your whole efforts, all your efforts, your career, everything. You start teaching this. I'm telling you, once this explode, it takes anywhere around the world. I told Barbara one time, it's a question I ask students, and this is a question I'm going to ask you guys. If the economical world fell out tomorrow, with your skill set, with your current skill set, the way you are, would you really sustain you? Something to think about. Yeah, something to think about. Mad Max riding around, you're like, hey, what do you do? I got a suit. Hey, my shoulder hurts. I rub your shoulder, and you can pull that trigger more. You know, you have to think about what you can do. Like I was telling Barbara, any given Sunday, you go to a church, you're going to find others coming out and walkers, wheelchairs, with canes, or they're your clients. They're your clients right there. They're your clients right there. I told Barbara there was some people when I worked on people in D.C., a lot of the younger folks, they travel all around the world and say, oh my gosh, I was in blah, blah, blah country I never heard of before, backpacking, and this lady gave me a massage for $2. I got one every day. I just felt so guilty. I said, well, I didn't give her $5. I mean, I'm just asking, you know. But I said, okay, so you guys are going around the world benefiting off of the labors of these indigenous. Well, when I go around the world, I'm going to these villages and camps and teach them what I do. So now your $2 will be $52. So we have mansions, huts mansions on the hill. That's what I want to do, to spread this around the world, because everyone, can do it. Everyone can do this. Everyone can do this, but you have to understand what you're doing, why you're doing it. What you're doing and why you're doing it. I just was bored with the regular mundane stuff, so that's why I had to get into all of this. Eric Dalton, orthopedic massage, trigger point therapy, rock that chair. There's some other modalities that that I've practiced, and I just blended it all in. So Barbara.
Okay, I still can't get these people who are waiting to do something. Can you figure out why they're still waiting?
I
got here two waiting.
Okay, well, they're probably just watching.
There's nothing to do here.
Yeah, it's two perspectives. I mean, they're on. One girl's talking to you right now.
Well, and she. Technology, I will learn. Okay. Esther, welcome Esther. I'm Barbara, so it's me that you were talking to. Yes, And next to you is Laura and Dominic and Kenneth, okay? And they have all done sports massage therapy, with the exception of Dominic, who will start hopefully this year to do sports massage therapy. And just to give you the bit of heads up about what our program is today, Esther. As you know, we're the Caribbean School of Holistic Therapies, and we do a lot of international courses, and we do non-international also. In Barbados, we are one of two. Well, there used to be more, but now there's only actually one of three. So there used to be more, but people have slowly decided to move away and stop running the courses, etc. So we run two types of international courses, STIM 3 and SINTAC, and the others are SEDESCO. All the others are SEDESCO, yeah. And we no longer seem to be there, have gone on hold temporarily. So, in bringing in Robert to run this program, which is the next stage from our sports massage therapy, that's really what it's about. Because we didn't want to just do a diploma level 3 at sports massage therapy, although it is really valid, and it takes students to a certain level. But we know as practitioners that there's a lot more that needs to be done with our clients. And we want to be able to treat our clients the same way we recommend our clients to go and see an osteopath, or maybe go back to the doctor maybe because they might need an x-ray or all the other things. We know that there are more that we as therapists can actually do. What we lack is actually the ability to actually implement what we think is in our head, and we're not really sure that what we're doing is actually the best thing, and we need things. So this is really where the advance comes in. It allows us now to take our existing knowledge and build on our existing knowledge and look at ways of helping people quicker and faster and much more effective. Because as therapists in a whole, a lot of our brain is centered around doing whole bodies. Yeah, as Robert demonstrated, a lot of it is not necessarily what is required. But most people that come to see you with the basis that you are going to give them a whole body attention. So we now need to change our language and our approach and our understanding so that we can be a lot more effective. Now, what Robert was talking about 15 minutes, 30 minutes, how do we work with that as therapists? Because at the end of the day, if you're a practitioner, you need to earn money. Yeah, so it's not a case of, okay, I can just don't charge this or just do this and don't bring more money thing. The bill still has to be paid. But in orthopedic, it is always an X amount of time that you're actually allocating. So you're always planning a program of treatment. So it's not a one-off system. So when people come to see you, it's a program of treatment you're planning for them. Yeah, when you have done your assessments, when you have done everything, it's a program of treatment. That program of treatment can be 4 visits, 6, 8, 10, 12, 15, whatever it is. Now, in the US, how they operate, and this is a new thing, this will be a new thing and a new mindset, we'll say, on the island, is that if you've got 4 visits, yeah, and you would say, and let's just use something simple like $100. If those 4 visits adds up to $100, yeah, it all depends really how you structure that visit. So it's either that $100 is split into 15-minute sessions, 30-minute sessions, or whatever. Yeah. So this is really a different way of approaching how you're going to work with your clients. So that's really where you're planning. You plan all of that. How many sessions I want my client to have based on what is the issue, and also if we letting the client know that once the process has started, you might have to do more, because once you start working with one area of the body, something else happens. Yeah, because we know it's all linked, and we tend to forget the issues that we've had. Sometimes we might have an injury long time ago, we've forgotten about it. We might have pain long time ago, we've forgotten, although it might kick in, maybe once a year or something like that. So, but once you start with your clients, then all of a sudden something else starts happening, and they're like, oh, they come back to see you 2 days later. Oh, but now my hand is hurting me. It wasn't hurting me till you start doing something. Yeah. So those 4 sessions might now have to be extended, depending. So you will have to guide your clients accordingly, and that's really what is going to be important to plan the programs. And that's really what you will be learning in part of the course happening in next year, is how you plan all of those and how you build all of that into your system, and so that we are not so focused in full body in the way that we have been trained. We are now allowing ourselves now to extend into a different way of working, etc. Now you can see how beneficial that becomes to you, the therapist. Yeah. How you actually spread your time, how you calculate everything. So you can say, oh, well, I'm only working for 3 hours a day, but you know that in 3 hours a day you may be seeing 10 people, but those 10 people are only 15 minutes. Yeah. For those of you who visit a chiropractor or osteopath, you will know that an osteopath or chiropractor only sees you for about 10 minutes. Yeah. Because they are very definitive about what they're doing. Yeah. Today it is this. You come back whenever they ask you to come back for the next stage of it. Yeah. So it's not like they're going to sort it all out in one fell swoop. Whether sometimes people say, oh yeah, but they're all making money on your particular pain. I mean, it all depends on your reaction and your relationship with the osteopath or the chiropractor that you have. So we're not going to get into the ethics of that. But for us as practitioners, how we are going to evolve and how we're going to work with our clients, we ourselves has got to become comfortable with what we are doing and understand what we are doing so that we can sell that to our clients in an ethical and conscientious way. Yeah, and it's changing mindsets. That's one of the things about what we're doing in terms of when we start with publicity, etc. It's changing mindsets about how we as practitioners operate. Because remember that here on the island, we are not really treated in the same way as a chiropractor, osteopath, and all of those people, and physiotherapists. They are given status. We massage practitioners are seen as below. Yeah. So now the involvement of what we are doing from sports therapy into orthopedic is going to allow us now as practitioners to evolve into that level where people now are going to see your skills in a way that is necessary. Yeah. So that you are now being treated in a way, hold on a minute, you're coming to me for your pain. Yeah. I can treat you for your pain. Yeah. Of course, we still work in the same basis, which is you work within your capabilities and you do not exceed your capabilities because it can cause harm. So you still do no harm no matter what, whether you're doing massage or whether you're doing orthopedics or whether you're doing sports therapy, it is still the same principle, and those ethics will still apply. So in going forward, this is really the advanced courses. There's a shift in mindset, a shift in how we as practitioners see ourselves, is how a shift in how we view our clientele, okay, and how we are going to get the clientele that we need to build a business that we actually need, yeah. You weren't here earlier, Esther, but which is on what I said, which is our business does not have to be centered around Barbados because we're all part of CARICOM. Yeah. And with these programs is that we not only centered in Barbados, but we're centered also outside of Barbados. Yeah. I mean, as a school, we have traveled already doing our programs, but that's all the massage and all the other workshops. This here now is the advanced stages that we're going to move into and move other programs into advanced. It's lacking in the Caribbean advanced knowledge in therapy. That's really lacking. We know all the other people, the acupuncturists of the, not the drug dealing, but the acupuncturists, the osteopath, the chiropractors, the physiotherapists. We know that they go to school, study 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years, whatever it is they study, and they get their qualifications. We now, as a massage therapist, now have to build a road that we need to travel. And as a school, that's really where the advanced modalities come in, so that you practitioners will now be seen in a different light. And it's up to you how far you want to take it. I see where we have sports massage, the orthopedics, that's the next stage. Where we have manual lymphatic drainage as a workshop, we move into the next stage of that. So that moves. We know that we have to deal with things like oncology, and we move that into the next stage. So the whole thing is to build the programs and move them on into the next stage, which then creates specialist people. That is really where you then separate yourself from the average person. So as a specialist person, you then decide, okay, with my orthopedic knowledge, I want to work with all the sports people, or I want to work in the gym, so I want to run my own setup and then target specific people with specific things, or I connect myself with doctors and get their clientele and we interact. However it is you say, nursing homes, the hospitals, and whether it's private hospitals or the government hospitals, like you know, what you call it, we forget what you call it. Not the old people's homes, but you know, the like geriatric hospitals and all of that type of stuff. Because one of the things in specialization is that the elderly people are frequently not included. Are not included at all is the elderly. We think when we are practitioners, we look at the much more able-bodied person. Yeah, because most of the time that the people is going to ring you are people who are able-bodied, someone who's working in an office or something. Yeah, that's most of what happens. Yeah, but we forget that there's a large section of society that we do not touch, which is all the people with certain types of disabilities and all the elderly. We don't tend to really relate to them, and they're the people that are walking around with a great deal of pain. And they're the people that where our specializations need to be focused on, and we need to work with them in the same way. Yeah. So we need to increase our clientele, yeah, and build on that. How we decide to charge will be part of what we will be learning when we're doing the course. Will be fees, how we go to plan programs, what we go to charge, etc. Okay, so that will be what we will be learning. Yeah, so that you could feel comfortable, because it's nothing worse than thinking, well, hold on, what do I charge someone? If I'm only seeing you for 15 minutes, what do I charge you? Yeah, but that's why you build a program, because that 15 minutes is out of that program, of that fee that you charge. Okay, so these are the things that we will be part of. Okay. So I know that you're not looking, Esther, to go forward. I know this is just you using your knowledge to do what you are doing, but you're not looking to necessarily go on our program next year.
But I would certainly, I've always had an interest, I've always from a child, I always felt like I could get people to do it again.
Yeah.
I'm very spiritual, I tend to be very intuitive, really spending with this.
Right. And I mean, and a lot of work is intuitive. I mean, you are aware when you get to know your clients, you get to know what is wrong with them, what is happening. So a lot of it is intuitive, and you know, and as we develop our skills and we interact, that aspect of ourselves, that energy aspect of ourselves, do come into play. Yeah. And we do, and that guides us into how far we're going to go, or where we're going to go, etc. And how we perceive ourselves. I mean, it's all about our confidence in our skills. That's really going to be the main thing. The more you learn, the more you have to be really confident of actually selling those skills. Yeah, you will draw people to you, but you still have to be good at selling the skills, and in a way that people can understand and they will buy into it. We know for a fact that when someone goes to see the doctor automatically refers them to the physiotherapist. That is the norm. The doctor don't think of referring them to people like us. Yeah, it's always a physiotherapist. And in many instances, we are very capable of doing what the physiotherapist has known, but we didn't go and do it for 3 years, so we don't have that piece of paper. So this is really what it's all about. how are we going to get our knowledge? I mean, now a lot of physiotherapists use a lot of machines, yeah? But how are we going to really connect with people, with our skills, and their bodies, and really understanding the issue of pain that comes from either wear and tear of our body, or from previous illnesses, or currently with illnesses, etc. So pain comes from so many different reasons, and how we work with that. Part of the program also will be involved, we'll be looking at pharmacology. Okay. Now, pharmacology, one of the reasons why that is there is that a lot of the people that you will be seeing are being on prescription drugs. That is for sure. They're on prescription drugs, some medication for something. Some of that medication is also triggering pain because you're taking the drug to do something else, and that is causing something else, yeah? So we all know that. So understanding the pharmacology helps you to understand how you're going to treat your client. So that is part of what we'll be learning. Pharmacology will be. Understanding some of, I use the word popular drugs, some of the well-known drugs on the market, what they do, what the benefits, the not so good benefits, the side effects, how they impact muscle and bone and joints and tissues, especially the connective tissue in the body. So that's one of the reasons why pharmacology will be playing a role within it. That doesn't mean that we've got to spend our time trying to remember every single drug, because you will not. But you yourselves will be aware that when your clients are talking to you about the drugs that they're taking, they actually, most of the time, don't actually understand the knock-on side effects. If you ask them if they know about any of the side effects, they actually do not know. If you ask them clearly what that particular drug truly does, they really don't know. Because they went to the doctor say, oh, well, let's use high blood pressure. It's a common thing. You've got high blood pressure, take this drug. And I must take it. Most people just go down the road and take it.
Breadfruit leaf tea does the same thing.
Sorry?
Breadfruit leaf tea, you dry breadfruit leaf, you boil it in tea, and if you take it at temperature, you see where you are, and in 4 hours time, you drop them to morning.
Well, indeed, but you remember, most people are going to go to their doctor, and the doctor is not going to be saying, well, I'm going to take a breadfruit leaf. Yes, indeed. Yes, but indeed, but what we have most people, 90% of the people that walk through your door will be very doctor dependent. And even when you do make suggestions, they throw up the doctor, well, my doctor says A, B, and C, even when you can demonstrate it, etc. It's only over time as you get to know them and they get to feel confident about you that they inclined to listen. Yeah. So that's something that we will do. So pharmacology will play a role in what you are learning, and that will help you when it comes to the whole issue of dealing with people's pain. Yeah. You cannot ignore the drugs that they're taking. So that's very important, yeah. Okay, so I think that will be my part there for a moment. Robert?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay, I'll let you know.
Do another thing. Set up a table maybe and do a
You want 5 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay. Have 5 minutes break while Robert kicks into the next thing that he wants.
Yeah.
Oh, Esther, the bathrooms are just down the corridor, okay? All right, it says male and female, but it doesn't really matter. If you want, do you want any water or anything like that? Okay, you okay, Dominic? That's okay. We have a water facility there. We will have some juice. Okay, we will have some juice and snacks when we finish. So.
I've had 5 nurses in my family, and the medical. And I always wanted to Twice as that's what you are. Yeah, twice as all medical field. So there's I was talking about doctors could not say, I'm very proud to do this. Doctors could not say. And then I had problems that they couldn't stop. I stumbled upon these Christians. And these Christians,
I can't get rid of the screen.
But you have to be a therapist, yes,
He's the person what you said, popularize all this moving country. But this family.
No, I'm not.
This died very poorly, 11 years. Some gentleman came over from Spring, two guardians in England, and found him with all this knowledge of plants. And they pick him up and carry to England. And then he works with all the manufacturing, finding plants. But if you notice, a lot of the medicine now are including a lot of gas stuff. So I've been watching that from 2002. So I'm smart. I live on Gunhill. I'm really a businesswoman, but I'm tired now of the business. I'm trying to pass it on to the children. But since I've had this problem, I Dr. Ccamp used to have a lot of diabetic patients and everything. And he saw him healing the wounds and every kind of thing. And he said, calories. And there's something called red therapy. And it does that tremendously. The thing is that medicine is changing what I'm seeing on the magnetic energy and stuff like that. God is really changing. You can't concentrate on your money. Develop your own spiritual self or let your intuition guide you. So I'm big on that because I'm a very spiritual person, I found that everybody. So I'm using my spirituality. Because I'm very annoyed that I will come with.
She's saying that she cannot hear anything. One of the girls says she can't hear anything. With the link.
Does she see it?
Winner, can you see everything that is happening, but you just can't hear anything?
Because he's in church. But he's very, very nice. So myself and him are very, very close.
Okay, I just sent it to you on WhatsApp.
On WhatsApp? Okay.
But this is the first time I've ever been able to get over. I didn't get one aside, no anything like that. I've been sick for years. And this is the stuff, but this is what very interesting. Very interesting.
Okay.
And what happened is, I was fine. I actually went to go buy some strength pens, and when I got this gentleman who was doing it, I just gave her all the strength.
Sometimes they good because there are a lot of side effects and a lot of stuff. So it means it's going to be a little bit serious because well, we shouldn't
You're not going to let them know what you do is tell them to be aware of the side effects. So, we're taking something that we don't know the side effects. So it tells you that the side effects can be, let's just do something where we like it's hurting your shoulder, and you know the side effects. I can't tell you not to take it, but it is that you're much more alert to what is in your shoulder. So instead of you going back now to get another extra drop because of your shoulder, right? So, but your role then would happy to help help person manage her pain.
Right, okay.
So that's really what we do, because it all depends, if the pain gets mixed, it must be the joint or the tissue, yeah? So so you're then be helping that person to manage, because if the medication that they're taking is for.
I didn't do anything.
Well, it depends on their mindset, because if they might not have even known that, and some people going to tell them would be like, well, okay, so if this is causing this type of problem, what can they do? So you will get the person who says, what can they do? Is there anything else that you would recommend or well, and they will try something else rather than the prescribed medication. On the other hand, you might have someone who's not what the doctor says it's fine and it's fine.
Right.
And that's what you yeah. So it all depends on how the person is, yes, that you're working with. But it just gives you a something to understand it. Once you get some knowledge about pharmacology and where it's coming from, how it can work.
But it's gonna get there.
Yeah.
And then, especially when you take on board that you decide to look at anyone with disabilities or the elderly. Yes, we know that a lot of the time they are going to be given drugs, sometimes really unnecessary, yeah, because they can do a lot of other things that could be just as beneficial. But that's when it's being seen, yeah, you reach a certain age, oh, well, give you drugs for this and this, drugs for that, give you drugs for everything, especially in the care homes, because that's how they
I can see it's just like.
so, but
We're gonna take.
remember in the care
We're gonna
homes,
take a posture analysis.
you will only be going in because the owner of the care home is quite happy to get you to come in, or the family members. Yeah, so that's really how we do it. So if you write to a care home saying that we can do A, B, and C, I think they then have to propose with that, say that family members know that these people can do A, B, and C. Family members will then say, well, no, yes, etc. Well, it all depends also on people's finances, because you know you're paying your home, and if your finances are really, or if you really don't care, you wish that was the first one, but as soon as you get the house. You know, well, that's a reality of someone. Yeah, so you know, so it all depends really. I mean, very when you go into the care homes, with the elderly massage, because elderly frail massage, and that's when you're teaching, which is quite different from and it's very important that you get established, because people say elderly massage, and so I say, yeah, which culture are you talking about? Elderly frail massage and elderly massage are two different things, because elderly massage, you can just do standing massage, as long as you're able body. You may be old, but as long as you're able body, it doesn't really matter. If you're old and frail, that's a whole different system altogether. So when you go into the care homes, it's important that you go into the care homes with massage techniques for the frail, not for the able body.
We must think that we should stick to, I mean, if we're massage therapists and whatever, or going, I mean, I understand what you're saying in terms of if medication start causing people's pain, but you don't think that, I mean, or maybe going a little bit overboard, saying, well, if they can maybe the medication not doing this, doing that, or the third, I mean, you should stick to, you know.
No, we're not saying that it is. What we do, you tell me that you're taking aspirin, yeah? And you're taking aspirin, you're telling me that you have problems. I will then, because I don't know what are the side effects of aspirin, so I look at the side effects of aspirin. And aspirin says the side effects of aspirin can be that you can get a headache, say. So you are telling me that you get lots of headaches. So you're telling me that you're taking aspirin 2-3 times a day or once a day or whatever it is. So all the other stuff I have done assessments. Remember, you're doing full assessments with people. These are not just partial assessments. So you're looking at what they are taking outside of their regular food. It could be their food that is giving them headaches. Maybe they're eating too much particular type of stuff that is giving a headache, but you're looking at the whole package. So you will still have to, you could say, well, someone will say, I'm eating lots of cucumber, but you virtually know about cucumber, but they might not know about aspirin. So you need to Google, well, what are the side effects of aspirin? So that you can compare all the cucumber, all the aspirin, and see where this person is falling in line with. Well, if they have been taking the aspirin for the last X amount of time, and since they start taking it, they start having these headaches, well, maybe that is a link. If they were eating cucumber before, they never had a headache, but since they started taking aspirin, they have a headache, well, you start working out, hold on, which one is it that it could be a potential issue here? But you're not saying to them that they cannot take the aspirin, because your goal would be to say, look, aspirin can cause headaches. You need to go back to your doctor and tell your doctor, well, I'm aware that aspirin can be causing me headaches. What shall I do? In the meantime, you as an orthopedic therapist can treat the headaches and everything like that. So, but you still have to then invest in going back to the doctor, especially if it's prescribed medicine. Yeah, we can't diagnose, we can't stop anything, but we can give the information so that that person is much more informed, so that when they go back to their doctor, they say to the doctor, well, you know, since I started taking aspirin, I'm having really bad headaches. You know, can it be linked?
Are they gonna say that? They're gonna say, my massage therapist told me that it's because of the aspirin that is causing.
Well, it all depends how you phrase that.
No, he's how you
They're still
phrase
gonna,
it.
they're still gonna go and say,
Well, they might
my
do,
massage therapist.
but you can, but you phrase it and say one of
Yes,
the
that's how I
side.
phrase it. The thing is, it's me that's doing it, the massage therapist, so they're gonna say that.
No, so here's what I do. Let me show you something. Here's what I do. So, all she said is correct. When you go through all of that, I tell them this. What we learn in the United States is this. You can't say it can, it will. It's probably. We say it may. It may be caused by this. Go see what the doctor says. And if they come to me with something, just say, I always ask, what does your doctor say? Okay, if they said that their doctor said it, then I repeat exactly what their doctor said. Don't get caught up in, well, yeah, I said it. What did you say? I said that it may cause this and that. And as she said, that the doctor said, isn't that what you said? Yeah, okay, fine. That's it.
And I don't think you need to spend your time worrying about how they think, because as long as you didn't say, well, your aspirin is causing you headaches, your aspirin is doing this, you've got this problem, that's all diagnosis. As long as you're not diagnosing, you can, yes, it may be, because you're now saying, look, these are the side effects of aspirin. That's it. You didn't know those side effects. So yeah, and that's really where your confidence comes in. Your confidence in your ability to do what you're doing. Yeah, and remember that clients, no matter how good you think you're doing or whatever it is, somebody's still going to want to screw you. Yeah. So you make sure and document it. That's why the whole issue of assessments and clinical work is all part of it. Your consultation process, your detailed consultation process. Let's move away from the standard massage form. Yeah, this isn't what you're doing. You're doing proper consultations and deep consultations. You're really understanding. You're writing, so that's why you learn about all the clinical part. Because you know how to, you learn to write up all the stuff. It's clearly documented, it's clearly this, yeah? And that's really what you'll also be learning in your program. And that's where your clinical research becomes part of what we're doing. And that's one of the reasons why you don't write clinical research articles also. Yeah. So this is because once you start moving into the advanced, you need to understand, you need to have everything, you need to put everything in place. Yeah. And it's the use of words and it's your confidence in what you're doing is going to be really important. And not taking on the fact that clients, yes, because clients, remember, will say things because they themselves are scared. And they don't want the responsibility. So if they can blame you or blame the doctor, it makes it easy because they don't, because if they take charge, they have to take charge of their own well-being. And they don't want to take charge of their own well-being because they want you or the doctor to sort it all out while they sit down and do nothing. So that's where you how a lot of people operate, yeah? So that's why and remember, this is what the difference between being a specialist and being your run-of-the-mill person out there, yeah. So there's massage therapists and there's massage therapists, yeah, as we all know, yeah. So and you know for a fact that there are people out there that you will not allow them to touch your body no matter what. Because they really don't understand and they will never understand and they're not prepared to understand. Yeah. So to be able to guide yourself into a different space, your confidence in your abilities is going to be and your skills is going to be big. Yeah.
I got that one here, and what we're gonna do is gonna add me to the stage on the board.
Okay. I can see someone.
I think I gotta make them all. Okay. Okay, so we got somebody here who's willing to be a participant. So we're going to work with hips. The hip. I said the neck, but we're going with the hip. Very simple. A lot of people have hip issues, and what happens is that they become. Okay, yeah, we got people there. They become, tight. The client's tight. They become tight. They become weary. The Q angles off. The balance is off. All of that. Or this is what I mean. People will come to me and say, I got one leg shorter than the other. I said, how do you know?
You have a lot.
I have one leg shorter than the other.
Oh.
I have one leg shorter than the other. I said, really? How do you know? It's been like that all my life. Oh, what did the doctor say? They didn't tell me. That ain't true. I mean, it's true to that. But you see, the way I play that game up there is medical, allopathic medicine, saying, and it's wrong. But I'm gonna use your science to work what I gotta work with. If you say I did something wrong, I'll go back to your science and say, this is what you said. But this will be based on what you said is what I did. So you see, they already did it. They already made the pass and use what they got. Use what they said this. Okay, this is what it is. Did you know there's there's 11 systems of the body, right? It's actually 12. Fascia is now the 12th system of the body made by the U.S. fascia, Congress of fascia. So now fascia is the 12th system of the body. After all these years you've been telling them, now they said it, okay. All right. So, would you like to talk to you? All right, there we go. She's ready. All right, so this is very simple. And you guys on YouTube, you'll see just a little bit of it. I'm not going to show you everything.
Right. Well, yeah, one person said they can hear everything, but they can't see.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
But when we will pick you up, because that's what she wants. She wants to see the demonstration.
And this is very simple. Which side is it? All right, this knee. This young lady said that her knee had been hurting for a while. Now it's causing pain up in the hip. Okay. Which started first, the hip or the knee?
And
The knee started first, and now it went up in here. You have any pain on the other side? Any discomfort?
No, but I have sciatica on both sides before.
Now she had bilateral sciatica. Okay. Juicy stuff. So, this is what I do. Now you gotta relax. All right. I'm gonna work with her knee. I'm just show you what we do with the knee. First thing, I will pick it up. Right. She's relaxed. So, just pick it up like this. And I'm gonna do something like this. I'm only doing it on this side, so you guys can see. So I do something like this. Really, I'm actually doing this. So, tell you what, if you can go this way, that way I can show up. So Notice how she's relaxed. Remember that hip action I told you that you need, and hip, when you relax, so you should relax.
You guys want to stand up and watch properly?
That's what you get, yeah. You take video, whatever you want to do. So this is what I do. Alright. So when you get up there, we just start. See, this is another thing too. You're gonna have to learn how to dance. All that Caribbean stuff you do up to the people over here, because you're gonna need to do it. You know, you're gonna need to put your stuff together here because your stance and your balance all depends, right? So what I do is I just do this. Okay. And all I'm doing is, that's all I'm doing, and then I'm just on here. See? Very simple stuff. And sometimes I go like this. But the knee, you can hold it and try to grasp the body any way you can. It's okay. It's okay to handle it. Okay, just try not to. No, handle the body. They're there. They're not here to do it. Yeah, just be all right.
Why are you doing it?
Why? Good question. Why am I doing that? Okay, so, and they have to be passive. They can't help me either. So what this is, drop your foot. Drop your foot. Drop your foot. Let your foot go. Don't push it. So I can tell when she's holding. So it's very simple. I want you to hold your back here, your triceps. Everybody can do this. Just do this. Press here, right? Hold it. Press here. Now just bend your arm. What do you feel?
Stretchy, feeling muscle.
Okay, now, here you go. I want you to slide your hand, let the skin slide under your hand. This is called pin and stretch. What you're doing is you're working with the attachment point. I call it attachment point therapy. You're working with the attachment point. So, you will feel, drop your hand. You feel that? That little oil on it.
You want the oil?
Yeah. So, what you're doing is, and they want to help you too. You tell them don't help you, because you do this a couple of times, you stop and they do like they get hit in the head too. So, let them know, don't do it. All right, that's one way to do it there for you athletes and stuff. Now, if I was working with the leg, it's the very same thing. All right, you can do that. But imagine just doing that. Putting the muscle in eccentric contraction and then working. All right, this is the pin and stretch. All right, you're pinning, you pin and you stretch. Pin and you stretch. Now there's something else too. Relax. You can always tell me your clients relax, but it feels very heavy. That's why I always do like this. You see how I have the elbow to relax the shoulder and everything? Same thing. That's what you do. So you just do like that, right? Now, say for instance, biceps, big muscle guys at the gym, all right? You do the same thing like that, just go up like that, like the same thing. And what happens is that it causes the muscle and the fat to release. Right? So what we're doing is we just have it release, so we just pin and stretch. You do with your fist on this one, pin and stretch. Pin and stretch. Another thing you can do too, a lot of people don't know, is I love it too. I love to split multi-headed muscles. Now, the multi-headed muscles, what I do is when I go up here, go up here, go up here, and I find the intersection of those two intersections right there. And then what I do is we just try to split them.
What's your scale of pain?
Oh my heavens. Now I'm out here releasing every second.
Also, the carpal tunnel. Everybody's carpal tunnel by the office
Yes,
workers.
I had my operation already.
Oh, you did? Okay. You came in, you say thousands of dollars. Okay.
I did only that, and that was in one.
Oh, okay. So with the carpal tunnel, same thing, and now I usually do the same thing. couple times in the stretch.
25 years we've been to vote.
Yeah. All right, so we do this. This is one of the things you do. Is what no one's doing. Remember, multi-headed muscles, they operate independently, right? So I'm taking one and I'm isolating. I'm isolating the extensive.
How does that lower?
I got them issues.
Yeah, yeah. Another thing when we do that, also, is a different type of chair, like on the caster, and I can this, I can do compression gardening, or once again, you need to work like this, because now we have everything in the eccentric contraction is actually action, you can just work on stuff, you can feel all of the top. You said you had no issues. She said she had no issues.
Yeah.
See, you start finding stuff on these clients that they forget about for years. So I can isolate this one, or taking this one. I can isolate it. Yeah. So we go all the way up. All the way. We got to cross the street to complete it. So, cross the street, cross the joint. These are what? Intrinsic or extrinsic muscles? The intrinsic because they don't cross the joint. Those are two different extrinsic.
And if the ligament is swollen, what do you
Hmm?
do? If the ligament there is swollen.
Yeah, if it's swollen.
Yeah.
Well, if it's swollen, you gotta find out why it's swollen, and that's another thing. People say it can come to, I had itis, tendonitis. I say, how do you know? Well, it just hurts. Well, you know the difference between itis and osis? Itis is swelling, osis is pain, that's it. That's it. What did the doctor say? Okay, always ask that question. When they come to you with something, what did the doctor say? That's how you get asked, right? So,
So when your ligament is swollen or affected, then they have to come off the keyboard.
well, I'm off the key, you'll keep saying it with me, just keep working with that, you know, always tell me, just keep coming back, you know? Okay, all right, now, let's hit, just hit, right?
Yeah.
Just hit, okay, it's knee. But it's also the hip reset, so this is another thing we do, that I usually do, is, this is an Eric Dalton move, Scaloni move, that's all. Relax, relax. You see, you always gotta relax. When you're up here, you're gonna hold. Always get your head moving, relax. Everything must be passive. I grab here, I only support here. I don't pull from only support. What I do is I just adjust. Adjust. Adjust a little bit. Like that Jocelyn does, it loosens up the hip flexion, it loosens up the kilo. So roll back. And then we take it. Across if they can, sometimes they can. You okay? And we just. Body dynamics is always important, right? So we do this. Make sure your body is set right so you can do this, right? Put that stool out the way for yourself. Put that stool back. No, this stool is. And I'm gonna get over there too. So you move around here. I'm gonna get over there in a minute. So, take it like this. And then we go down. Now, she has not such a good range of motion in the cold and restrictive some, but you see, now this has to be down some. The knees okay? Yeah. Always gotta check to make sure the other parts are okay. All right. This is called pigeon pose supine for you yogis. And then relax, relax. You always have to make sure they relax because it can be tight. Now, when you do this move, make sure that foot is dropped because if they raise their foot, I go into the window, out the window, whatever. Now I have no leverage. All right, so drop your foot if you can. Drop, drop, drop. Okay, now, how you get this hand, and what I usually do for you for the grip, I go like this because I have a better pick. And I go like this, it's a take a deep breath, and I stretch. And then I take my hand back here, and I can do some of this. So this, I can trim all the trigger points as I go back, and they all out. Just walk on down the islands.
Is that hurting?
I walk everywhere. They know where it is. See? Everywhere. Everywhere. You do this, and you can take that. You can do this. And then you can also do a little jumpy. You can also move it as you're gonna use it. Or you can take this, sometimes like this. So you're making all the stuff moving. So the body moves, so you want to make it all move. Ouch. Cup your foot, so they're going to help you. And usually I go into this. The psoas work, psoas work, I locate the psoas between the ASIS and the hippocampus. And what you do is you tell them, in the end, you say, raise your knee, raise your butt, stop. Now, you actually feel it when it contracts. You're fine. Again, okay, you're right there on the psoas. You go right in. Keep your breath very slowly. Just go right in. Come on there, you feel it in your back. She made me speak right now. And SOAS is an acronym I use, PSOAS. SOAS. They have a lot of practitioners who are SOASs. Practitioners who are stuck on a standard. SOAS, PSOAS, practitioners stuck on a standard. That's why they don't get anywhere. With every breath I'm coming out, you don't just come out with every breath, you come out slowly. Come out very slowly here. All right, there? All right. All right.
Feel an itch happening.
Itch.
How's it feeling? That's a good sign. Okay, so how is it feeling?
It feels so much loose.
Turn over, you say bye bye bye, not a good sign.
Yeah.
Turn over one time, let me show you this one time. So this is the signature move. You can do it all lower back. Eric don't say if your back hurts, it's your butt's fault. We don't know that, right? So what we do is we take this here, relax, relax, relax. And we just jostle, right? What I do is I jostle when I move. Now, I've seen this move before, and you can do this. You can put the leg down. Sometimes you can just hold it down and you can do that. And that's good because you just jostle. But I like to move stuff, right?
How does that feel, Laura?
And you just loosen up. Now, you gotta do this for maybe 2-3 minutes.
Right.
30 can't do it for 30 seconds.
This is very relaxing.
And now I just move like back. And you see how I'm moving my body, you don't want to stress like this. You want to just get into it. And sometimes they want to help you move, so what I do is I wiggle this to make sure that they know to relax some more. And I'm doing this, and then I say, take a deep breath. And what you know, your palpation skills have to be great too. Not just with your hand, but with your elbows. So you're finding that humeral notch up there, right? That notch of the that comes off that piriformis, off the humerus, head of the humerus. You say, try to get it as as possible. So take a deep breath and exhale. Nice. And you'll feel you'll have the notch. You feel that? Mm-hmm.
Are you experiencing any pain, Laura?
Across here.
Usually under the front of the thigh, that feels complete. That's fascia. Usually that's fascia. And with the same hook, you just kind of find it and you bring it internal rotation, same, right? And then you just loosen it up again. Shake, jiggle.
That's great.
You got the other side, right? Same thing. Just want to be able to just, this knee has a pathology, so make sure if they don't bend their knees back, don't try to force it, because there's something going on. So you would just, care for a little bit there, maybe that might loosen it up some.
You have an issue with that knee, Laura? Oh, no, right, okay, now you're on your phone again.
And you can feel when they're resisting. That's the communication of touch. That's another course that's going to be in communication of touch. Well, you understand when you touch a client, they're communicating to you something. It tickles, it hurts, it reminds me of something, when you're nasty, anything. So you'll know. Okay, and your breath, exhale. Now this one is a little more tight.
Yes, there's restricted movement there, isn't it?
Restricted movement, yeah. Which means, especially loosen it up some more.
Right.
So you can actually just keep going, keep going. Because all of this is gonna loosen up all of this. You see,
Okay.
it's all fascia, because the curve of the back is conscious.
Right.
Make sure you get the names. What this is really doing, like I said, is loosening up the 6 great rotators, the hip rotators. Right? It's loosening up, get that tissue from around the nerve. Loosen it up, let it go, the fascia releases, Okay, a little better. Deep breath. So sometimes you can use your other tools. You just have to look at how your body's being used and use it as a muscle or a tool to help you out. And then I flip it. And do that. So. Sometimes you pick the leg up. You do that because now they don't want to kick. If they kick, that means all of this is gonna contract. But if they're not, what you can do is just shake it out like that. So they can start going to the gym. And once again, need it. For the fellas, you see how I'm using my fist? Because we go in there and we start doing like that. Although some people don't mind, but up there we're like, it's not kneading dough. But that's what we're doing. Now, there's sometimes you can actually, if you can, pick the tissue up from the body. She said, different, huh?
Yeah, that looks good.
Just pick it up. There you go. All right.
How does that feel, Laura?
Talking about new bits.
You do it. I'm short, so.
New bits.
Let's see. Okay, how does it feel? Oh, when you get there, you'll notice it.
Because
Yeah,
it couldn't come
yeah.
this far.
Uh-huh. So that's good.
So have you seen everything? Now turn around? Have you seen everything now that you want to go to a roll? Have you seen everything that have you roll? Yeah, see?
Yeah, okay. So stand up and walk then and.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I do feel this.
Ah,
Yes. I see up there, Q. That's another thing. Those Q community things you guys got, the chairs will go up in there. Those Q with the events they have every Thursday, the Q.
Oh, kill the community, oh, you mean?
Grab them chairs and go up in there.
Up there. Oh, yeah.
Grab some chairs and go up in there. See, you got stuff going on. How'd that feel, huh?
Great.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
I'll take a peek back to that.
You got a neck issue? Show you the neck stuff. Shoulder, come on, let me show you the shoulder. This is very simple. Which shoulder? Which one? Right. Okay,
Get your rewards.
And I'm trying to find people to do this to me, it's very hard. I mean, I teach them as I hand, and they, within a minute, they're like little babies. Hey, what's your name, man? Dominic. Good to meet you, man. Man in the house. All right. What show is it? Right. Okay. So, shoulders. So, what we do, shoulders is, so where does it hurt? Right there, okay, looks like another, how you going to put me that's right here. So, like some of these shoulders, anything you can do, once again, all right, and it's very simple. Palpation is everything. Get in there, start feeling around, feel what's going on, and then start. So, tell me that, help. Is it? You can do that, or you can punch it, somebody will help. Very simple work sometimes. Now, with all shoulder issues, I was told the best we could deltoid tuberosity, which is cool. But for his situation, you have a second level of muscle. That's where the subscap comes in. Anybody know how to get to the subscap? Anybody? Yeah, up under there, I need to get to it. Okay. There you go.
Yeah.
And then cross into it like that. Now, here's one piece to it. You gotta go through the back door. Don't know. See, you want to help. Don't know. See, you don't want to help. You want to find that back door and open it up. There you go.
Wow, what's the thing that Dominic?
Now, what's gonna happen is,
It's what?
It's good.
Okay.
now his elbow is gonna slide down his trunk like molasses.
Wow, I like that sliding down part.
Have you seen enough to roll yet?
Wow.
So you're saying much apart from the deltoids is subscap is
That
short?
subscap is the one that holds everything, gets it out the room and everything is good. Everything else is
Right.
Yeah. So, pec minor, don't be about.
Well, it's usually pec minor, yeah, so the pec minor, so here's how you know when you're in the pec minor. If you do this, right, anything you want to target there is the pec. When you do that, the pec, when you stretch, but when you stretch, if you go to a wall or something, you stretch, it's the pec minor, it's the pec major right now. But here's the pec minor.
You raise your hand a little bit more.
Yeah, but you gotta put your hand like this. Yeah, the elbow 45 degree.
Right.
Pec major, pec minor. They're activates that you feel it.
So he's in supine. You couldn't do that particular movement in prone,
It's not
as
accessible.
effective.
It's not accessible.
Okay, so
You can
I'm
actually-
prone are really to access
Right.
the sub, but
You
you
can-
can do
But
Oh,
there's
the
a
other
big
side.
sleeve.
Oh, you're talking about the pull, oh, she's talking about the pulling the scapula.
Yes.
What I was doing, I was actually pulling the scapula away from the center.
right.
That's what I was doing. I was pulling the scapula away from the center. You can actually perform this on a chair as well.
On the chair,
Yeah.
how you gonna do it on the chair?
Who want? You want to try it?
Yeah,
Chair.
okay.
Yeah, man, any chair. Doesn't have to be a massage chair.
Maxine Robert
Oh,
Pearson.
Maxine, oh my gosh.
The other one, sorry, I was going. All good?
Yeah.
Hi, everyone.
All right, so when people come to you and they say, oh, I have something, I got something going on in my back, in my shoulder, You know, you can just do this, you can do this anywhere.
I mean, mine is a little more, well, we can do it,
Mhm.
make it right
And
here.
that's usually the jump choice, so usually.
It's gonna be heavy.
So what I do, that's what I do once again, to want to relax like this, right? And I'll find it in there. I don't just find it, she's little, so I tickle her some. Okay, and then sometimes I just say it like this. I almost like the front. I'm not even in there. So, it's fine. Yes. So, I'm ready.
You feel that?
You are.
Yeah.
Yeah, palpation skills are everything when you're doing this. Palpation skills are everything. Then it's gonna slowly come down. She's still holding a little bit, but she'll slow because she has some big true points in there. Slow. What's that release? Yeah.
Right there.
Mhm. And sometimes you do like this to help relax. You do slow everything naturally do like that.
Sorry. That's her. Yeah, because I do it, so.
Yeah.
It worked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, then we do the other thing.
And then we're gonna move the scapula.
Right now she's holding. Right. But sometimes if they don't want to give up the scalp, what you do is you push the button in the front. You gotta do that, and then that should help her. Sometimes it works, it depends on where you are. So you just get back there and pull that back. Now another thing we can do is just stretch it like that.
Yeah, she's sitting up there, I can see. All right.
You're pulling the scalp, you push the scalpel up and pulling everything. Yeah. And that's just movement like that. We haven't gotten to that muscle energy work. There's so much you can do. There's just so much you can do with people with their necks. When people say, "Oh, my neck hurts," okay. The first thing I do is I sit them on the table. All this is on my channel too. I sit them on the table and I do PNF, which is just muscle energy technique where they go like this and then they do the other side. And I'm adding resistance to add, they add resistance to add torque. And then they come back and everything goes. So you can actually do a whole session of that for 30 minutes. You don't have to run, just do all these PNF sessions, stretch. Everybody in DC and in the United States is stretching. That's the new no license, let's make money thing. But if you're some type of anatomist, you can understand how this works, and you're able to effectively stretch people with PNF. Do something differently than no one else is doing. That's why I take it to another level. I can't do what, okay, it's different, yeah, okay. Okay, what about if we do it like that? I look at how the body moves. I look at how the head goes like this, it goes like that. Like that. Fine. And when I'm doing cranial work sometimes, I say, people should relax your neck. They're like, I'm trying. And they don't realize that the head on the axis, right, go like this, but also here, 6-7, it turns, so they have to understand, and you have to understand how to learn how to work with it, and have a process for you to work with that. So this is what orthopedic massage is about. Orthopedic massage is about so much you can do out the chair, on the chair, the table, on the side of the bed with an elbow or so on, and athlete's almost hurt, injuries, there's so much you can do. You have to look at the body as a machine that if you can access it, and make it happen, just learn the function of that, that's key. Learn the functions, learn the elevations, learn the suppressions, learn the abductions. Get back into that and you learn, because once you start learning those fundamentals again, it becomes coming to class. You know, people have that the stretching is just, that's just something. Once you do the stretching, that's sleep. You can do anything. It's again, check your messages. They're snoring and they don't even know what they're on. You know, there's certain things you can do with this that just takes it to another level that they've never had before. And in their mind, they say, it's a different person knows what they're doing. It always happens like that. Now, a lot of people may not come back. You know why? Because they can't afford you. That's people tell me that. Oh man, I can't come here. I just have to come here when I'm hurt. Oh, you're not hurt. But it's a very valuable craft that you can definitely benefit from. You can definitely benefit from. So there's a lot that can be done, a lot you can access, and just do it. There's also with that all that is demonstrated. That's what you have now. Everything you guys feel okay.
Yeah,
Good. So with that said, you know, you can actually circumvent the extreme therapies that your clients are going to go to. Like Barbara was saying early on, that people want to go, you know, if they're hurt, they don't think of us. And even us, when we go to school, like Barbara said here, you want to go further and all beyond, which is not necessary unless you're going to do that. But if you're just a massage therapist, or be an advanced therapist, be the therapist that solves the people's issues, be the therapist that they're talking about, be the therapist that the other therapists hate, because somebody's not going to like you. I get it all the time. Oh, arrogant asshole. Yeah, come on, learn, get this certification. I don't care. I always say, I taught a bunch of Asians that I don't know how they understood what I was saying, but I always say that anatomy and physiology is one language, right? So you could say it no matter how you say it in your language, you understand what I'm talking about. If I start moving it, you understand. And a bunch of them was there, and I used to always tell them, colleagues I used to work with, I said, you know what? I know what they're saying about me driving down Highway 66. That guy, I cannot stand him, but I need the certification because I'm hard or because they have to learn it. And it's not, and they were an issue because of language barrier. There's some other things going on too. But I told them, I said, no matter if you don't like me or you love me, one of the things for sure, you're going to remember me. You're going to remember that great massage you had, and I'll call it LNO, like no other. It was a joke, but then it came out like no other. They were saying, I have a video. What's the massage? Oh, you were right, like no other. They're saying it on the video. There it is. And like I said, some people don't like what you're doing. Some people are writing bad reviews. There's always going to be a few who say, yes, I got a bad review. Because if that person, and this is what I say, some people don't get with this, but I say, look, all press is good press. Like Sinatra said it, Michael Jackson said it, all press is good press. If someone comes to you and says, oh man, I went to this guy, man, he did this style, like what he did, he stretched me, and this and that's the first thing you want to do. Who was it? Really? I'm too bad. And you got another point. All press is good press. All right, they're going to talk about you. Oh, yeah. I don't look so bad. Let me book an appointment and see what she's talking about. Everybody's not going to like your work, but keep going. Don't let that. That's just one person that don't like your work. That's it. But this can be done. This work can be done. In gaining leverage in an emerging marketplace, you distinguish yourself from anybody else when you do this work. You can actually leverage yourself. I mean, I don't know where you guys live, I don't know how you travel an island, but just say there's something way up there. Pack your stuff up, take your buggy up there, set up. Next thing you know, it's like, when can you come back? Wow, nobody's doing this. The guy down the block don't do this. Well, guess what you're gonna do? You're gonna go down the block and say, hey, what? These people say you don't do what I do, and I teach you, and you don't pay me. It's simple. I do that in DC. You remember that I said SOAS, practitioners stuck on the standard? I'm gonna tell you what I started doing. This, I know they're doing it, I know these people start doing it. When you think of a class, you think coming to a place, right, sitting down, right, coming to a facility, sitting down, right? What I started doing in Carolinas was I said, hey, this is what I do now to talk to people massage. You have about five other therapists that want to get this? Oh yeah, I know what's on there. When you come from, okay. You got a backyard or a basement? Yeah, okay. Give me 20% of everything you bring in. I'm with it. You bring them in there in their basement, I talk to class, call the lady, Vicky, go and get 5 certificates with me. Yep, I'll give you the name soon. Teach, got the money, sent the names of the certificates and everything I wanted to do. You got his money, everybody got the certificates and their credits, and he went on about it. I didn't run the facility, and that happened within 3 days. You see, you can actually leverage yourself, leverage who you are, leverage what you can do out there and share, always share. I share all the time. And one thing in America, they say, oh, you shouldn't tell everybody. You know, I'm telling everybody. Well, somebody might steal it from me. Let them steal it. Good. Hope they do it better than me. Right? I don't care. That's not what I'm focused on. I'm focused on spreading this to as many practitioners as I can because we're all human. We like machines. Stuff don't work too good. Stuff break down. They go in and do stuff, so we gotta polish it up after they come out, right? But this is what I'm saying. You have to leverage yourself in an emerging market. I say emerging market because it's always going to be emerging market. I'm down here doing this Caribbean campaign for advanced massage therapy. That's emerging market to me. You have a question?
So when they have an earthquake and all these people at work, they have no machine working to see that, people are there.
You have to.
You have to depend on people like us.
Yeah, exactly. So that's, hey, you know, like I said, you go to church, you got clubs, you got athletes, you got people in your family, they all need it. They all could use it. You know, especially kids, they don't know they need it. So you tell them, look, man, go that touchdown pass. Oh yeah, well, I got a cousin, he played basketball. He's got into college, young guy. Something wrong with his hip for years, and I know what they're talking about. I worked on him a little bit, he liked it. And he went to another doctor and they worked on him. So he needs it for his career. He wants to eventually get an MBA. He's only 5'6", but yeah, he's trying. Spud Webb was 5'6". It's Spud Webb, right? He's actually a coach now. So yeah, so this is what you do. You have to leverage who you are. Leverage who you are in this business. Not so much the work, but who you are. But when you talk to people, like I said, you start talking to people, you talk differently. Have massage therapy and say, I'm from massage. They just come on, get tissue. But when people start telling you the issues, then you start getting into the conversation. That's when the dope happens. Oh, this is, yeah, but I have a hip problem, this and that. You know, this is a long time. All right, well, what happened? Did you fall? Did you do this? No, I did this. What kind of shoes you wear? How do you, in the United States, they say, how do you carry a load? Because everyone carries 3 bags now. Right? So that's how you carry a load, you know? 2 straps on the backpack. And one carries 2 straps on the backpack, right? My rule is if it's more than 2%, 2.5% of your weight, put it on wheels. Because the body sets up after 18 minutes, 19 minutes, so you're carrying that backpack on, or you're moving, your brain is setting everything up to support that backpack. You're setting up, so you can be setting up like that depending on how you wear the backpack. One shoulder, right? Oh, my hip hurt, wow, well, 2 straps. That has nothing to do with it. Okay, try wearing 2 straps. You know, what I wanted to do a research project. Let me tell you how interesting this gets. This is where you can go anywhere. I wanted to do a controversial research project on young men between the ages of 13 and 18. No, I take that back. Young men between the ages of 18 and 25 who used to wear their pants below their waist, right? The saggers. Because I wanted to see from 18 to 25, when they go back, how they're, because you see, there's still, men stop growing, they stop producing osteoblasts at 21. So when you're walking like that and doing all this stuff as you're developing, you're gonna develop kind of crazy. Your hips are gonna be messed up, your knees are gonna be messed up, and you decide to mature and wear your clothes right. And you come off that garbage truck and, oh, what happened? Oh man, I don't know what happened, man. This happened when you wore your pants from 13 to 20 like that, and your body was developing, so now it developed like this instead of the way it was supposed to develop. I'm just asking questions here. See, there's this type of research you can do, this type of case studies you can do. Simple stuff. Simple. You can do a case study with all the rosters out there, and how much does your rack weigh? How much of those lights? If you cut the locks off, how much would they weigh? So their neck hurt and their back hurt.
Yeah.
See why still with no back pain? No.
I see, Carol, you're.
Yeah, see all these studies you can do. There's so much you can do with this.
I don't know, shot with me, the monkey, it was all.
Yes, that stuff hurts. That stuff weighs. You gotta look at how the body's being used. Just simple stuff, how the body's being used. And these are some of the things you can address, you know. I don't know. Yeah, these are some of the things you can address. I mean, there's just so much you can do. Athletics, so much athletics everywhere. You can do that. A lot of organizations you will not be able to get into because you have to be certified by that and all that. Everybody tells, oh, you should work for the NBA. No, I should. You should work for the NFL. No, I don't want to. That's the NBA again. No. You go in those big organizations, you gotta get certified. They don't want to hire us out there. They don't know what we do. Another way you can benefit, leverage yourself off of this. There are plenty of chiropractors up in the United States and other doctors who work with professional athletes who were injured on the off season, and they have to go to them confidentially to get right before they go to training camp. You know why? Because in their contract it says if you do anything outside of what you do on your off times and your contract, you're gonna take some money away. Your contract is not void. I heard athletes flying from LA to Houston, LA to Chicago every week to get treated. They got to do it. They got money every week. They go up there and they get treated before they go back to camp and then they do something. Oh, okay, now it hurts. You see what I'm saying? So once again, you can leverage yourself in this industry. That's another way you can leverage yourself. So there's so much you can do. There's so much you can do to the fact that you can actually support chiropractors, you can support physiotherapists, you can support physical therapists. My vision also with Ccamp, the campaign, is to eventually get with the med students and look a program out with the med students, just for like 6 weeks, come see what we do, and hopefully we get in there and see what they do. The staff has a program to see what they do. We did that from my school at Georgetown University. I got a certificate that says Georgetown Mini Med School. I put that there. People don't know. They see the Georgetown Mini Med School. He the one. That's it. But you do the work. It matches up with who you are. That's the thing. What you do has to match up with who you are. Your conversation has to match up with your work. You can say, oh yeah, I do nutrition and get an ass class. You know. So like this young lady was doing, I was messing with her. She was drooling. She wasn't drooling, but people drool on my arm. Because the way I have it, they're drooling. And they don't know it. And I'm sorry.
Is there anything to do for the brain?
For the brain?
Yeah.
Yes. There is a
Giving up blows to the brain?
yeah, okay, for traumatic brain injury, yes, there's plenty that goes into lymphatic drainage and glymphatic drainage, which is actually targeting the cranium and the meninges up here to get the information out. There is a modality called lymphatic drainage.
There's vitamins as well for the, that can release the soul.
I'm sorry.
You know, vitamins.
Hippocampus. Yeah, you talked about the hippocampus. Hippocampus, yeah. I knew what you're talking about. Hippocampus, yeah, but there's certain, that's extensive training. You have to really understand that. And if you want to get in there, that's extensive training. That's where you hook up with TBI doctors at the hospital. Hey, I'm studying it. You study? Okay, what you studying? All right, I just need to ask you some questions. They're good to take some. I ask them all the questions you want. Why you at your massage therapy? Well, I'm more about your science, allopathic science, and just turn it into my modalities based on what you do. It's in the scope of my practice. They love to tell you, no, wait a minute, what do you know you should stop? What are you talking about? You know, I love to talk to orthopedic surgeons. I love to talk to them because they so I need to know and I need to tell me stuff. So it's, you can always talk to another doctor, allopathic doctor, and they will be glad to tell you information. Any questions, Miss Maxine?
Well, I was just listening, so I was obviously let in.
Yeah.
But I just think one thing for avenues for like when graduates are coming out, when you, obviously Caribbean's small, right, collectively it's not, but as an island like Barbados, the issue is I work inside a Caribbean practitioner and I find, even just for myself, I'm not relying on them, I pay my space, yeah, where other people have come, other therapists, and they get exploited. Now that's another big area because they're vulnerable in the sense they need the clientele. So they work on a really low budget, and the person, like this chiropractitioner, obviously cleans it, because they do ka-clunk, every 10 minutes they're making $80. So there's a stream of people constantly. Now the thing is, my thought process on it is that we do the most connected body tissue work out of all the modalities, yeah? And that people should be advised, right, to do soft tissue work before and after when they have adjustments and realignments, etc. But that reduces their income. So in an island situation or whatever, because it's not, they don't want to lose the business. So, I've had people say, oh, go get an adjustment and come back, yeah? And then 5 years later, they're still sat there every Friday going for an adjustment. And I'm like, okay. And yet, on a principle, right, it's like referrals. People don't like to refer because they're losing their business. And it becomes very, very competitive. And that is a big problem in places like Barbados. People don't want to share. People are not confident enough in what they do, right, to know that their clientele will come back. I always say, look, I'm going to refer you here. Try this, see how it goes for 3 weeks, and come back. And let's discuss where, if it worked, was there anything else that we could add in or make changes? And then sometimes people run around, they have a specific condition, life-threatening, whatever, and they run all over the place, scanty brain, because they're trying to find a cure. So they're doing too much, so then they go into, overload. And as a professional, you have to get to that point where you can say, you could do so much on a shoulder, but you need to know before you actually put it into a healing crisis, or to say it's going to be really painful and sore. Do you know what I mean? Some people work on people like thinking they're doing hardcore tissue work, and you're like, no, it's not about that, it's about targeting. And like we often say, like an onion, it's prime example, peeling off the layers and getting to the core of the issue. Because you could just masquerade it, which is just what the doctors are doing, not orthodox medicine. It's just like, okay, dampen the effect. And they think they're cured, but they're not. And a lot of conveyor belt massage practitioners, therapists, whatever you want to say, are in the similar kind of vein. Like the spas, it's literally a pamper and in and out. But we've got specific spas here, and some of their clientele are athletes, like famous footballers, for example. And they're not going to get the right person to work on them because the people are not trained in that. So that happens all the time. So it's like spa and whatever is quite fluffy. And it's far removed from what spa actually means in the first place. But do you know what I mean? It's the concept in conditioning, mind conditioning. And it's the same with people in their bodies. It's the same thing. It's all about body memory. And they can't get beyond it because they're conditioned. You must come back. And there's a fine line of professionalism and codes of ethics and practice that needs to be considered. And I find what goes round comes round. You know, so if you practice what you preach, as you were saying, it will actually come back sevenfold. Where if you say things that you can do, which you shouldn't say you can do, it will backfire.
And you look like
And you know, and in a small island there, everybody knows,
that.
right? It's like, oh, that's the one.
Yeah,
You're supposed to see, you might as well move and leave the island.
We say, when somebody wrote a review, like Maxine just said about the difference between spa and, you know, wellness and all this. Someone wrote us a review and said, you guys ought to give these people more credit than, and what did he say? You need to give these people more credit than you are doing. It's not just spa where they have cucumbers, but you can bring your own water. No, he said, they have the water and bring your own cucumbers. I thought that was the most slickest thing he said. Because a lot of people, Dr. Golson, have to put down that we're not a spa. Everyone thinks you spa. And when we had our name, what I'm working with one of my clients, because I'm a consultant, is the Washington Institute of Natural Medicine. Now, that means a lot. They think we are a marijuana dispensary. No, we're not. They think we do, x-rays and exams. No, we do natural exams, We give out homeopathy. We study all the alternative medicines, the chakra balance and the energy work. Dry needle neurotherapy, that's different, not like dry needling. Dry needle neurotherapy, that's a difference. So when you're out there and you're actually practicing, know who you are and have your niche, and actually, promote that niche for who you are, and make sure that it's, that scope will be appropriate for that client. Once I said, leverage yourself. This is the emerging market. Once you leverage yourself, you'll be able to do anything, anywhere.
I think also it's the market. Market, if they're not conscious, they look at, oh, it's a spa. So I've got to feel good. Because that's what's put out there. Do you know what I mean? So, when you start talking a bit more technical, it's like, do you know what I mean? Unless they've got an injury. So if you've got a knee injury, you know all about it. Like a footballer, right? He knows every single thing. He's had 13 surgeries. He knows this, he knows that. He knows more than you. Because he's focused on it, yeah? But so it's very important that my view, because I work not in the spa industry per se, is that, you talk about what the benefits are, conditions. So if you're actually doing manipulation, what's the benefit? Because people go, yeah, I've got diabetes, I've got this, I've got that, or they think they have, but it's not necessarily diagnosed either in a small island, yeah? And you can say, okay, let's do this approach. So for a lot of people, they are scared because it goes beyond their boundary. It's a bit of ignorance because they have no idea what's involved. So, there's a lot of barriers to actually break down to get there. So, if you talk the talk, walk the talk, and you can explain, well, you've got a heart condition. This is really, in simple terms, what is going on. This is what we can do to make improvements. So, because a lot of people take a pill and think that's it, it's over and done, we have cures, but they don't take on their role as well, and that's not initiated from practitioners to say, it's your responsibility at the end of the day. I can do what I can do, I'm just a conduit, but at the end of the day, if you don't back up what we're talking about and just carry on, then you're not going to see the improvement or the changes, because they expect that we've got a magic wand, right? Which can happen, right? But, they become very reliant on that and not take charge of their own health management. That's another big issue.
There was a problem, she mentioned something, Maxine mentioned something, with ignorance and fear. That lady come to me about 6-7 months ago, and you're allowed, this is another thing, leveraging yourself. When you get to this point in your career, you'll be able to do this, what I'm going to tell you. This woman comes in with unusual, she was post-op with orthopedic surgery on her knees, both knees. Unusually, they do both knees at the same time, but I guess this was urgent. I don't know what happened, but she comes in there after she was on her back for 2 months, so she just got in and she came in to me to see me. Now, she's been there before, I've never seen this woman. 2 months out of bilateral bowel tear surgery. Okay, let me see. First thing she tells me, don't touch my knees. Excuse me? No. I said, well, just no, I don't want you to touch it. All right. What are knee muscles? What are knee muscles? Quads, calves, right? I work on quads and calves. What I'm telling you, what you can do is when she left, I put in the system, do not schedule with me. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it. Do not schedule with me. I don't need the problem. I don't need to convince you that you need this. Go somewhere else, let them take your money. I'm done. When you get to this level, you'll be able to pick and choose who you're willing to work with. Client and or colleague, because there's some massage therapists I do not want to be in the same room with. Trust me, there are some I just don't want to be in the same room with. I'll give you a simple example of what I mean. This is a lot that happened. When you go to events with chair massage, all right, and this was before COVID, I would see massage therapists, it looks nice to drape their headrest with a cloth type of thing, right? But then they would put another, like a paper or something over that, and they would use it. They would take the paper off. They would put another paper on for the next client and say, yo, you can't do that. No, but I'm spraying it up. Once a massage therapist tell me no about something I know, I start sliding all the way over there. I don't want anything to do with it. I told a young lady, and sometimes they get younger ones, they get, how you? There was a young lady came in pregnant. And the minute she came in, I know this young lady didn't know. And a lot of massage therapists up there in these gigs, they know me. I walked over and said, it's best that you turn this lady around so she's staying out. Oh, no. Over here. Because that's one thing I don't want to get. And that's a subpoena. That's one thing I don't do. I think you can choose. I don't serve pregnant women at all. After the baby, come back and see me. Oh, I'm pregnant. Okay, good. Come back and see me in 9 months. I'm not touching you at all. If anything that go wrong and you're on that line of treatment, you need a subpoena. So where you are in your career, this is your confidence. Knowing that I can say no to whoever I want to say no to for whatever reason I want to say no to. And don't let the establishment you're working for tell you you have to do something that you don't want to do. Because then you have conversations with the establishment over what happened and why and this and that. You didn't want to do it, the client wasn't receptive to it, now we're having this conversation. When I told you in the first place, I didn't want to do it. These are the confidence markers you have to have in this when you get to that level. Because there's certain things that looks good and shiny out there, so it's not good for you.
I think the other thing is, it's like whichever school you go to.
Yes.
Because in our time, right, going back many years, right, it was like, oh, it's taboo, you can't do anyone pregnant. You can't do that, especially first trimester. You can't do anyone who's got cancer. Well, they're the people that need to touch the most, so what? Huh?
That's what it's
Do you know what I mean? So it's like, you have to go with your gut feeling. Obviously, as a school, we put the protocol across about getting a signature, because we don't want to be, going to court, right?
Served.
Yeah, which, America does it a lot, right? That's an old fact.
Land of the Sioux.
Sue like crazy. The only places here that would sue would be big wealthy establishments. It's not going to get anything out of anybody. Do you know what I mean? So at the end of the day, it's that there's all of that put in place. And I think it depends how you work. If you're mechanical or you work more energetically, about intuition and your gut feeling, knowing what's right and wrong. And a lot of people, the dollar rules. So they'll do things that they're not supposed to be doing. Yeah, in all levels, right? And you hear that, we get feedback all the time. It's like, really? Because it is small. It's different in the States or another European country where it's quite vast. You can get lost in it, you know what I mean? And America, you've got from one state to another, they've got different laws, bylaws, whatever. So here in that Caribbean, we try to establish codes of ethics, codes of practice, and to benchmark things. That's why exams are what they are. So you have some kind of control, otherwise everyone's out there doing willy-nilly and working under the radar. which is fine, but, there's no principle to it. And then you go and educate yourself and gather all the skills to get that certificate, and yet you're in competition with all those that are really nilly, and then some people can spoil for others in the sense of like, oh, well, I'm massage, I get the whole works, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, well, actually, professionally, that's not part of it. Do you know what I mean? And it's a bit like this, yeah? So you get weird kind of clientele asking other things and all kinds of stuff. So, it's about you personally having pride in what you do. And, if you do your best, every time you do a treatment, you do your best. And I think that is a big plus in the sense, because people can feel it energetically if you just, and you get into spas and it's like, and then they wonder why all the staff are sick. Because it's that work.
And that's another thing, the back-to-back work. That happened to me in Charlotte, North Carolina during the pandemic. I worked at a place, I kept running back and forth to DC, they didn't like it. But there was nothing going on there. So I actually rented a place around the corner up the block from the place I finally got into, which was a back-to-back, what you call a conveyor belt, which is really not good for anybody. Because during that time too, I mean, they could have gotten slapped with so much. What can you do in 5 minutes? You can't set, you can't reset properly, your body can't reset, you have to do notes, this and that. So, that back-to-back stuff, the recovery is not good. But where I am, we have a 30-minute recovery, 30-minute recovery time. Now, a lot of massage owners say that's a long time. Well, my spa owners might think, well, that's taking a half hour, I can pack them all, and you can't pack them. You can't pack them like that. It's not healthy for the client, it's not healthy for the practitioner, it's not healthy for the business. Because what that's telling me is that they haven't studied the industry long enough to understand what they do. A lot of owners of spas are not massage therapists. So therefore, they're just going off the business concept. Yeah, it's a business, which is good. Now, the only way you can leverage that is tell them, look, I'm not doing a back-to-back. Give me at least a half hour on that scale, a 15-minute break. Why? Because I want a 15-minute break. I need a 15-minute break between at least that, right? You have to let them know, and you let them know, okay, look, this is what I'm also offering. Will you put this on your menu? So now you have more control.
If you put one on the menu.
Whatever you bring. Because whatever's not on their menu, when you bring it, say, I like to put this on.
Yeah, well, that's a whole other protocol. Because we've been in that stage before, even to the point with the biggest, most expert so-called hotel and their spa, it came down to reflexology. Now, there was no trend in reflexology, offering reflexology on the menu. So because we have an association for reflexology, they will address the situation and change the name to, what was it? Foot zone. And it stayed that since, even though we've actually trained some of them in reflexology.
That's what
They stuck with that, and I said, actually, you shouldn't be using that either. And they were a bit like, what? Why do we that? I said, because reflexology came out with zone therapy, if you know the history of reflexology. So you shouldn't be using that word either. And it got really complicated.
Dr. Pope.
Yeah, but it gets to the point, because it is small, it's about balancing and saying, I could have pursued it and said, no, I'm not using zone therapy. You've got to find another word. Come on. Do you know what I mean? But you want, because it's a give and take situation.
Because sometimes people, you tell them you're having a foot zone today, and they're like, wow, what is a foot zone?
Yeah. Because they don't know the history. So, when they were told they can't use reflexology as a terminology, they use, someone obviously researched, we use zones. Do you know what I mean? Well, Joe public out there don't know what zone is. They have a clue. They have a clue that reflexology is like physiology. Physiotherapy comes out from massage.
Yeah.
And yet they get more credit than we do.
Yeah.
It's like, hang on a minute, what's going on here?
And this is exactly what we're talking. This is why I came up with the Caribbean campaign for advanced massage practices. For me, this is a whole campaign. It's going to be official. I'm working. I'm going to need a lot of people to help push this throughout the island. It's a campaign. And when they say the campaign, what are they doing? And that's when you have that conversation. My goal is number one, first start that conversation with everyone, especially the other our cousins in the allopathic world. You know, spark that conversation. That's the first thing. Second thing is to use what they say is gold and use it to our standard. Right? Use what they say is gold, use it to our standard. And that's what that means. Go out there and find your client. They're out there. Everyone walking around here is your client. Everybody's walking around here is your client. You know how much epicondylitis there is out there? Right here, right here. All those golfers. They got backs, they got elbows, they got everything. That thing is how do you talk to them? How do you get to them?
Yeah.
In other ways, you do get to it. Find out these events and go up into it. Man, what's going on? You know, and you'll know because you'll study. You'll be studying different things that you like. Oh, you know, I just like people. I like to study how to relieve pain. That's the number one thing: relieve pain. Everyone comes to tell me they don't want to take medicine. Great. So come to me. Come to me every 30 minutes. You know. You have to leverage yourself and who you are, be comfortable with who you are. You have to have that conversation. Once a client starts conversing with you on their issue, it'll all start downloading. Okay, you know, what about that? Well, I don't understand. What's that? Oh, that's that muscle here. This time we had that before. And then you say, may I start having it? Oh, okay, well, yeah. But do you have a card? Always keep the e-card. That's how you just have these conversations anywhere. You can see people walk. I do it up there. I see people on the metro, on the train system. And then older people, they kind of sure they have a brace on. So, hey, nice brace. Yeah. I'm interested in the equipment too. Because see, it's another thing you're going to do. I created another table, two different tables. I created two different. One of them is a utility patent. The other one I came up with before the utility, after the utility patent. So for the alcohol, I don't know how much this table weighs, but you know how much tables weigh, right? Imagine making this table 10 pounds lighter. You can do anything you want in this field. You just look at how you're using your body and how you can access their body better. That's why I created two tables. So, yeah, and it's simple. I'm looking for carpet. I know carpet here that cubic tape. I got to buy it. On an old table somewhere, I have to break it down and reconfigure it. Get the poster, and I'm gonna leave it here, and you guys are like, wow. They have it in the United States, but I'm altering that table because it needs to be altered. There's something missing that I saw. So you can do that too with everybody's equipment based on what you know. You know, you got my sister created this U-shaped pillow like this. It's a big fluffy beanbag type thing. We call it the BR1000. The BP 1000, the body pillow 1000. I imagine it for well-endowed women when they're laying down and they have a pad, right? And some of them say it good, some of them say it comfortable. But you know what I did serendipitously? By mistake. I put it under their hips. Everybody loves it. My sister's in the ground. I'm like, you got the patterns, you got everything get there all right? Okay, you need to start making these things. You know, she sold 3 of them for me for $150. It just like this is the beanbag thing. It fits well on the hips. I put it on the hips and tell people adjusting it like, oh, it takes the pressure off both the hips. You can actually retail those. Say, hey, use this for your sleep. When you sleep, put it between your knees, put it between your legs. So every equipment that you see out there also supports you as a therapist and doing your business. I look at people how they walk. You know, back early on in my career, people thought I was being crazy when I was on dates. Because I kept looking at people walking in, most of them women, and I said, yeah, she got a hip. How do you know? I know she has an ankle problem. Why? If I'm right, you buy the next round and one to go for me. Be okay. So excuse me, hi, my name's Ron White. I'm a therapist, and I see you have something going on with your right hip. Yes, my right hip and my left knee. 2 to go, please. And keep talking. Okay, and here's my card. You be observing people all the time, how people walk, how people move, how people sit. You know, It's interesting. Now, here's something I was looking at. You guys drive on the left here. Right? America, we drive on the right. So we're leaning like this. You guys like this, right? So you look at that, that lean go, that gangster lean, right? That's the research there. How do you see how it all works? This is what I'm saying. Is everything is available to you. Yeah, you just look at people how they do it, you know. I don't know here, but little kids up there, man, they run around, you know, the kids get out of school for a minute, they got a backpack, or they run, I said, oh my God, this spine is gonna pop. You see that all the time.
Indeed.
I want to do a video on proper backpack packing, proper wearing of the backpack.
So how high must it be? Because I notice children are, in my opinion, it is sitting on their lower back, and I thought that was incorrect.
That is, what it
It's
has
supposed
to
to be
be,
higher
it
up.
has to be hitting like
Yeah.
C7.
Right.
The top of that bag is best to hit C7, and once again,
And where's the bottom? Be on what? L what?
And size of the
well, it
bag.
doesn't matter because it depends on the size of the bag.
Right.
For the
So when
for
you,
the
so you
size.
see the
Little
little
kid
kid
with a huge
olds
bag.
with these massive bags, which is
All
working
bags,
taller than
they
they
need a
are.
smaller bag. In fact, I
Right.
think all backpacks based on in the United States, based on the education that keep piling on to these kids, keep piling
Yes.
in the book,
Books.
I think they need to be put on wheels automatic. Because they come out
So
there
when
running
they
and
put
stuff,
on this, they're putting the one hand.
but at least it's on wheels.
Or the trip somewhere else. So they do.
I'm just looking at the posture.
Well, the thing about that is, I did a video, see, I got a lot of videos like that. I did a video like that on proper way to, you can go to the airport and see this, proper way to carry your bag. When people carry those bags, where's that handle up here, right? Well, like this, right? The ones that you don't have to
Yeah,
hold.
it's adjustable.
Just lower the handle. Why you got it up here? Lower it, you're not that tall. I ain't gonna work, lower that thing. And then
Well, it's the same as these.
same thing.
Carry
Yeah,
these
how do you
things.
work it? How do you work it? This has to be a certain level. This has to be a certain level.
You know, it's like the length of this and you're carrying like that on these handles.
Yeah, it's just.
You wish you had short arms, because you always do this, yeah? If you don't have them in the bag.
That's why I'm making. So, but yeah, these are some of the things you get to now encompass in your career when you're when you perform OMT or big manual therapy, right? And granted, I know you guys are traveling all over the place. When you start traveling and start touching people, you're gonna start looking at new opportunities. How can I do that here? You know why I'm here? Because my ex-wife is from Barbados. And I just start looking around, and these gracious people, the first ones to answer the phone. Okay, that's why I'm here. I said, I want to do something in the Caribbean. And plus, I know about the Caribbean. Like you said, it's smaller, it's spread out. If you put them all together, you can have about 30 United States, I'm not sure. But you're small, teeny islands. And I know that the industry geared towards, tourism. But I also know that the indigenous here, just like anybody else, we have the same problem.
It's suffering, yeah. Because when you're working in the hotel industry, making beds and all sorts of stuff, your body is really being put to the test all day long. So,
I got time for one more demonstration. Who wants to be there?
Yeah.
Who wants to be there?
Demonstrate.
You want
How
to
do
be
you demonstrate?
network.
Okay.
Network.
My problem is head.
The problem is head.
That's what I asked you about.
The lymphatic drainage, which is probably you.
I'm living on my partner, gave me a lot of blows. 17 years ago.
Okay, so, right,
Some
okay.
information, Dr. Goes, now I'll get with you.
Yeah, so we go to Dominic.
Wash your hands.
yes, indeed. Yeah, and I'll say, I got all the things, so I just, if anyone want the videos, but I'll load them up onto our YouTube. I've got, are you able to, he teach me how to do YouTube, how to get my
Okay.
school onto YouTube.
All right.
So I'm using now 2 different systems now. I'm becoming very flashy now, look, I got StreamYard. So
So I got a StreamYard, I go over and learn.
That's the way to come on.
Yeah, and now, so that is linked, I got that linked into this YouTube.
Oh.
Yes.
So through video.
Yeah, so yeah, indeed, yeah. So we go, so we create StreamYard and then we create the video and onto YouTube, yeah. And so we got the Caribbean YouTube, the school YouTube now.
Right, that's good.
So yeah, so I'm trying to, yeah, so I'm learning and learning that something, so, yeah. So we're getting there slowly but surely, yeah. Yeah, once you do all that administration. Yes, yeah. But yeah, but that's because we're doing it by YouTube
Yeah.
rather than,
Well, it's the angle that fits in.
yeah. Yes, yeah, because it's on
I
Instagram.
know her.
He's using he's using the StreamYard.
I know her.
I'm looking at it by StreamYard.
Right.
That's, yeah, yeah.
I know,
Which I, so that's because that's when you set up the StreamYard and you get it.
But you can do it
Right.
without.
Oh, yeah, you showed me how to do it, yeah.
I'm so big to see that. See your website says, same.
Yes, actually, yes, yeah, we do, because we haven't filtered anything or did anything. We
Well,
just,
there's
yes.
no makeup.
But we
Oh, you want
don't, but we don't even know how to use the damn thing anyway, so it won't have matter.
I'm hoping this is keep going and hopefully we can talk on.
Yeah, you know, when it comes to things, we.
Mr. Dominic, right on your back, so. Over there, let me go, we got more space. Yeah, come the tree, okay. All right, so network, right? So, one of the things, the easier things we do is, once again, your telephone help, because they probably will, so you, and you just, you come like this and you get everything way ahead. And you come up and see, he's helping.
Yeah, you can see that, yeah.
He's helping,
Yeah.
drop the head, 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 let it go. Don't lift, let it go, drop your head, drop your head, drop your head. Say she's helping. That's one thing, I call this piano fingers, and just hang it on the opposite fingers. Let that count, a little bit, you can actually, a little bit. So if he's getting relaxed right now, I can tell his traps are. Yes. And you can feel when the client is not relaxed. Because right now, his cranium is not doing the rock thing. It's just going like this. It's not going all at once. All right, so the first thing is the stretch. One thing, as I said, be comfortable handling the body. Be careful of doing this sometimes with older folk, but then people are very easy. So when I'm doing it, you see that now, go ahead and relax your head. This is physically impossible in this world. There's no way that I can hold your head like that. So let it go, let it go, let it go. Feel what it's going to do, let the force go, yeah, let it go. Now what he did was he controlled the movement. We needed to just roll off. See, he keeps control. Let him roll off. There you go. Look, just let it go. There it go. See, he can't do it. He can't do it. He can't do it. Let it go. Now, don't lift. Let it go. Just let it go. Right, look. Watch this. See that? That's what I want there. So you can do that. Okay. So what you do is you just tell me to relax. Stretch. And you can also tell if they're relaxed once you release. Watch what happens. Someone.
Yeah.
Yeah. How can you tell if you're lifting his head?
Yes.
Yes, he's trying to move, you can see a slight.
Yeah, how can you tell? The blind man can tell, but how can you tell?
It's stiff.
Mm-mm. The muscles, how can you tell?
From the neck,
Yeah, which muscle?
it's sternum and my start.
Yeah, see that, right? That's what you can tell when you're healthy. See, every time he contracts,
Yes.
See?
Yes, yes.
that's how you can tell. This is anatomy. You gotta understand from this is how you can tell. What I'm doing. I'm blind. Oh, lower your head. Lower, I can feel it. Lower your head. Lower your head. See, I can still feel it. Lower your head. You see, you know it's there. You know it's you always have to keep it right. So you can always tell. So, you know, you can always tell too in advance. Once you get comfortable, you'll be able to do things like this. You'll be able to handle the anatomy in a certain way. You still trying. Now, there's two ways you can stretch this too. You can stretch it laterally, like that. Notice there's no rotation. Thank you. And I was gonna say that. Thank you. Put your arms down, so sorry. Thank you. And there's another way you can stretch the neck. See? Now you get the most posterior musculature. Your abductors, up here. Now, here's that move. Here's that move. Relax. Okay, this is what. Remember that first one I told you guys about the neck? This is it right here.
Yeah. Love it.
Oh my gosh. Can you move your toes? Everything good? Good fingers. Good fingers. Okay, good. Oh, you didn't cry. Tell me. Move your fingers. Move your toes. And if they can't move it, say, I'll be back. Get your stuff and go.
I like that.
Wow. You got some love to release there.
There you go.
Look at that shoulders and then I can start hurting.
Just all you're doing now is getting a range of motion up. Now here is the part that I keep you guys gonna have to really get it. This is the traction. Yeah. Just give them traction. Now this also can be strenuous on your hands and your arms. So over the time you're practicing, you'll figure it out. Like my chair, I know it's high, so that's what's up for the beginning. You see my shoulders are up because my chair is high. But if it's low, I'll be more relaxed and my shoulders will just here. Just do that.
So your seating is a lot lower.
Yeah, because I want to be, at least sitting so I can align it right. Because you really don't want to make the stretch with that.
Yes.
Like that. You really want to
Right.
dance
Right.
Right. So here's another move, Eric Dalton, not mine, Eric Dalton, give me credit. This is a so easy move. Just take your hand, you see how my hand is? You see this? One.
So we need the next one.
All right.
How did that feel, Dominic?
Oh my goodness. Free applause. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good.
So there you have it.
Right, lovely. Okay. Well, thank you. Well, Jess, any questions anyone have? Any questions?
Just leave it aside.
Oh, are you coming back?
You're going to work now? So, any questions anyone have? Anyone want to? Oh, my goodness, you're too cold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you feel?
How's the hips going? Still
My
okay?
hips are good. My problem to me is.
Me.
Really, right, still more work on that. Okay. Right, so you okay, Dominic?
Yes, please.
How's your arm, Denise?
Oh,
Oh, Papa.
It was on a really big trigger point that I got in here and he said, and it feels much better. It feels much better.
So is that not coming from your neck?
Well, you see, I just have this whole problem with this whole shoulder, so, but what he did help. Okay. Yeah, you need to get a lot more work on it.
Well, yes, because I can see the range.
Yeah, that-
Stability, yeah, that needs to be, because if you see how you put it in your arm, it's not straight. Yeah.
Thank you.
So, oh, right, so yes, so everyone remember how to do the fulcrum, is it? Fulcrum, the fulcrum, yes, indeed, right, okay.
Always
So-
put it in the joint, any joint, the knee, the elbow, the neck, if you do it, toe.
So, okay. Okay, well, I think I've covered just about everything that we need to cover. Till later in the year, I will supply more information as we move along. We'll get more information, and yeah.
And I'll be sending emails and stuff.
Yeah.
I will send you the link to, my channel, you can see everything I do on the channel, so you can see how I work, that you experience here.
Okay.
So make sure you tell 5 therapists, you need to look at this. 5 practitioners say, look, I don't know where you need to go, you look at this. Everybody up there, other clinicians, way up there. So, hey, come on down, let me look at this. Right.
All right, then, thank you very much. Hold on, I've got some juices and things there, someone want to juice, someone want to juice or biscuits or anything. Yeah. You don't want any juice, no? Well, not much.
You will like to
That's my
from the store?
No, okay, I see, you got cartons, in the cartons. And there's some biscuits, eh, if anyone want. I wasn't shopping, just,
So I get that.
Oh,
Barbara and Maxine,
Yes.
they had a big school, so I need
Wouldn't
to
that be
just send
popular?
Think so?
Oh, right. So where you working now? Oh, so did you train with? So SJPP?
Yes.
As it was.
I had an operation, 7 of them.
Ah,
And down to one of
that's good.
the.
SJPI.
Yeah,
I don't know, like.
Right, right. So did you just finish it?
So,
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter anymore. Are they still asking?
Yes.
What? Really?
They
They ask me. They ask
yes, you can't get into Sandy there without the thing, Maxine. Yeah. Them in the trouble, you use a pro.
Well.
But all the new
Well, so what's
therapists
the
that,
difference
all the
then?
new
What's
therapists
the
that,
difference? You
are-
walk in,
you are a
whoever
pro.
you are.
No, but no, anybody that thing, got to.
Really? I didn't even know that. Nah. That's bullshit. That's just taking advantage of people, just to minimize them. And just ignore that.
Now they're
Step-
coming up with this new thing for people, frightening people for people to go and run and get,
Right.
There's a new vaccination
monkeypox. They're trying
Oh,
to-
yeah, in Europe now, monkeypox. You see, as we grew up, we all had, as children, we chicken pox and smallpox.
Oh, yeah, we got all the vaccines, yeah.
Did all that, yeah.
Well, it's
But there
part-
weren't,
it's part and parcel, isn't it?
mRNA,
I have all the
you know what I
vaccines.
mean?
So now these days, I'm not sure what's happening.
No, but that's ridiculous. But they did it before, they've done it with a lot of people.
But you don't
around the
see
world.
that